welcome to episode 10 of Healing Our Homes.
Woo!
Today we have Amanda, me, Ashleigh, and Felicia recording an episode that was requested by one of our loyal, lovely fans about building habits. And I was so excited when I heard that someone requested this because I've been reading the book. I know I mentioned it. I don't know if it was the last episode or the one before, but I've been reading the book Atomic Habits. So I have my little notes here. Everything I found helpful, I was writing down because I want to start incorporating these ideas and using them to benefit my life and the habits that I want to create. And so number one, I think that the most important thing to realize about habits is it's a task. It's a task. And we always, I feel like oftentimes, especially in our society, we overwhelm ourselves with to-do lists. But the point of a habit is it should be something that you want to continue to do and something that betters you somehow. So the number one thing to just keep in mind about habits is every habit you take is a step towards the identity that you want to become. So your habits should reflect who you want to become. So the first thing is recognizing who you are based on your habits right now, recognizing all of your habits, bad ones, good ones, all of them. The first chapter of this book talked about waking up one day and just having a little notepad next to you, everything you do, from getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting dressed for the day, every step that you take just in one day, write it down and rate it, like positive, negative, neutral. And that's going to help you recognize what negative things you might be doing in your day. Like if you wake up and grab your phone and scroll first thing, that's probably something that none of us want to do. I will say I did that this morning. We aren't perfect. No one is perfect, but that's something that I don't enjoy doing. I don't like looking at a screen before I've even taken in my surroundings for the day. When you are starting a new habit, it's easy to forget this thing that you're not used to doing every day, no matter how much you want to do it every day. It's hard to remember at first. For humans, like I said, nobody's perfect.
That's such a, for me, a to-do list can be overwhelming because essentially if I couldn't write down everything I did in a day on a to-do list, it would just look ridiculous, right? Like having ones on there that aren't a crazy task that you have to do. You know what I mean? It could literally be like, I'm gonna wake up and drink some coffee. I'm writing that down. You can do that. You can put anything you want. I remember, I don't know who it was, but they were like, you can put anything you want on your to-do list. And I'm like, why do I not think about that? Why did I not think about that?
Honestly, you guys, I feel like at one point I was that person, Felicia, who did say you could do anything and put it on your to-do list. Like wake up, brush your teeth, just wake up. That's a to-do list activity, right? Wake up. And just step out of bed. Some people just little things like that can be on your to-do list. But as we're talking, I'm just sitting back and listening and I'm realizing I am at that point in my life where I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to keep my routines and my habits in place. And I just want to remind everybody, like Ashleigh was saying earlier, whenever you're beginning, it feels like it's overwhelming, right? And it feels like consistency is so far away. But let me remind you that even after you've mastered consistency, because I've been doing self-care for a long time and I was consistent for a very long time. And I feel like a lot of people see that, especially because I posted a lot of my social medias. And they're like, wow, this girl's got her shit together. She is always on top of it. And I am at a period in my life. I'm going through a career change. I'm going through so many so many things personally that are impacting my energy put towards my habits. And I want to remind everyone that even if you are consistent, there are points where you probably are going to fall off and you have to be easy on yourself. You have to not beat yourself up because as I'm listening to you ladies, I'm just sitting back in awe and recognizing that because I'm not beating myself up about having these periods, I'm seeing the opportunity that this gives me to take action. It's because I'm not doing everything I can right now that there is something to do. So I just wanted to kind of share my piece that I am really at that point in my journey where due to life circumstances, I am struggling, right? Again, barely above the water, keeping these habits in place, morning skincare, evening skincare. We're not going to talk about how many nights that I've gone to sleep without doing my evening skincare. And y'all, I've got all of the products in front of me. Like, because this is something that feels like a hobby of mine, I have everything I need right in front of me. It's a balance, really. It's such a balancing act and not being hard on yourself for not having it all together and letting the fact that you don't have it all together remind you that you can do something small now.
Also for me, like a big thing is like waking up, like, okay, it's just funny today that we're filming this because I haven't done anything. I ate, I think that was it. Pretty sure, yeah. That and I can do all that stuff later. Like I'm gonna do my skincare later before work for sure because when I go to work without doing my skincare, it just feels extra gross. I don't know. So I'm gonna at least do that. And another thing I like to do is do like a bare minimum. Like, okay, tomorrow I already know I'm not gonna feel 100%. So I'm just gonna put one thing down that I have to get done. And then the other things can just be like whatever happens. Like it's not the end of the world.
Yes, definitely. It never is the end of the world. And that's the thing that we have to remind ourselves because I feel like society puts such an emphasis on things that really don't mean that much. But so what you said about missing a habit, so missing multiple habits, like you'll go weeks without doing any of them. Totally felt that, first of all. And second, you can always start back up. You can always start back up. We know that. Just because you miss a day, like you're never going to be 100% consistent. Yeah, it's the perfect picture, I guess. Like that's ideal. We want to do this thing every single day, but like Fee said, you're going to have off days, and you need to recognize and listen to your body in that way. So like the book really goes. I really strongly suggest this book. It's easy to read. He talks about things in a way that is very easy to understand and easy to conceptualize and like apply to your own life. He gives so many examples, so many resources, like tracking your habits. He has a whole like template for that. So to whoever suggested this episode and also anyone listening who's interested, I highly recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think I got it on Amazon. Also, the main gist of his book is going over 4 laws that he thinks are important when creating a habit. And so Amanda touched on one of them without even knowing, I think. She said that her skincare is right there. She has it all at the palm of her hands. Making it obvious is the number one law. The law number one. I don't know that there's like a huge significance in the order, but that's law number 1 in his book. Make the cues of your good habits like setting a book on my pillow so that when I go to lay down, it's there. Make the cues of your good habits obvious. I feel like law number 2 kind of even comes with it. It's make it attractive. And so that's like
kind of like romanticize it.
Almost, yeah. I feel like that would be one way to do that. It talks about like the dopamine spike that you get when you're anticipating something. So maybe like anticipating the feeling you get after a good workout. I mean, that could almost be like a cue for going to work out, knowing that you're going to feel good afterwards.
It's like choosing what to focus on about something. Like, are you going to focus on and anticipate, oh, this workout's gonna suck, it's gonna be awful and hurt? Or are you gonna anticipate, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so good after I do this? Both are true, but one, you are making sure you trick your mind into anticipating by vocalizing it. I feel like vocalizing in habits is so important. Maybe that's just like in my mind, but if I don't say something out loud, it's probably going to be forgotten.
No, I agree. And also, I think he talks about like setting intentions is a good way to stick to your habits too. So, like saying, I'm going to do 5 minutes of breath work in the morning. Just saying it, and also setting a time to it helps. But also with the making it attractive, I think Amanda has said this before in a previous episode. We probably all have touched on it. It's also about believing that you get to do this. Not I have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym. My body is able to, and I am able to learn how to do these exercises. And I feel that muscle mind connection, and it benefits me. I get to do this. So that's big too. Mindset is everything.
I tell myself like, okay, this is like, even though I don't want to do this right now, because let's be real, I never want to before bed. I just want to lay down in bed. I don't even want to brush my teeth before bed. Like, that's just how I am. This is for like future me. Like, I'm going to be disappointed if I wake up tomorrow and I don't do this. Like, I'm going to feel so much better if I do. Literally, me to myself at night, it's going to take me what, 10-15 minutes tops. Like, just do it. Like, I have to like talk myself into it sometimes. But I mean, that's just how it is. Like, because I don't know. Even like we were saying, even when you have been consistent, there's been times in my life where I've been working out for 5 days a week. That hasn't been me forever. That's just not for me right now. Like, I wish it was, but it's not. It makes me sad, but like, it's like you have to remember that you just kind of have different phases almost. And I think it's like that's kind of why it's nice to do different habits, like incorporate them. And for me, I think what helped the screen free time, how we were talking about, I could feel my sleep better. And it's because I did, it over the course of a few different weeks. And I was like, wow, like, even though I knew in my head, like, I could imagine that I would sleep better if I did that. But actually doing it and being able to feel the difference, just like kind of like when you get into the gym for so long and you do, because it takes a while to see any kind of physical, difference. But once you do, you're like, wow, like, I did that. Like, and you can see, like, you have proof essentially, and then it just makes you like, wow, well, I want to keep, I want to keep this up, I want to keep doing it because it makes me feel good.
Kind of like how your skin will start to look really nice or feel really nice after finding a good, consistent skincare routine that works. Just the results after consistency are so powerful. It's a bittersweet knowing when you get to the point of, Felicia, like you were saying, self-care or consistency with anything in the gym, any habit building, that you are so proud of it. Mind you, at first, in the world of social media, I'm sure every single one of us, if we want to make our bed in the morning, we're taking a picture. I made my bed this morning. I'm so proud of myself. And as we continue to do that, we get used to taking those pictures and sharing it. And like Felicia was saying, she was like, I feel bad because I was holding myself accountable this way. And I've gotten so consistent and it's become such a natural habit that I'm forgetting to take pictures. I'm forgetting to document it because it's a normal part of my day. Like, it's bittersweet because it's like, I love sharing this, but at the same time, it's incredible because that's exactly what the goal was, to make it natural, to make it a habit where you just wake up and want to do something. What Felicia was saying too about having different kind of phases, that hit so hard because when you were saying you're not doing this for you, you're doing this for you in the future. Like, you're doing this for who you want to be. And future you would do this consistently, right? So I'm going to do that. For me, I literally say the words, I'm doing this for her. I'm doing this for her. And for a while in my healing journey, we obviously talk a lot about healing on this podcast, okay? Whenever I was healing and going through my inner child work, right? I would say that same phrase, but it would mean something so different. I would say, I am doing this for her. And it would be in relation to my inner child. And it'd be into relation of who I used to be and helping her grow and heal. And at some point, I felt stagnant in my journey. It was because as I was saying that, I didn't even, maybe it was up until now, like I didn't realize I need to shift that thinking. I'm no longer doing this for her. I'm proud of her and I've brought her so, so far. But now I need to switch my narrative on who her is. And for me, her needs to be my future self now. I was almost in like a self-preservation mode, saying I'm doing this for her, as in like doing it for my inner child and doing it for what my younger self would have loved to do. And now I have to know that I have taken care of that young person well. And I am excited to take care of my future self now and to really just step into her power. I'm literally like, this episode, us talking about this is like firing me up because I, again, haven't felt consistent in my exercise routines and my skincare routines. I just recently got an eyelash curler and that has been the light of my life, you guys. I can't even tell you enough how just happy I am talking to everybody here, talking to Ashleigh, Felicia, just all of you guys. I'm just feeling so much more motivated, like personally. And I want all of you to know that, again, no matter how far you are in your own journey, you can feel empowered by the fact that there is more to do. Because right now, I'm just like, I'm so ready to, whenever we're done with this, I'm like, I'm going to do my skincare tonight. I'm going to do this tonight. I'm going to do this tonight. So thank you, ladies. I just wanted to say thank you. And that I love the idea of switching who I'm talking about when I say I'm doing this for her.
I love that so much. And I think your inner child would be proud of you for where you are now. I know she would. So I feel like focusing on our future selves is so important. And I also feel like that's why our friend group clicked so easily. I feel like we are all just focused on bettering ourselves, like little by little, each and every day. Literally, the smallest steps is all it takes. And I feel like we are all just putting a priority on that. And that's also important because I had written down something from the book that said you mimic the people who are close to you. And so, when building a habit, it's so important to surround yourself with people who have similar habits, who have similar identities to you. And I also feel like that's why we all clicked. We all enjoy moving our bodies in whatever way makes us feel good. We all enjoy taking care of our minds with journaling, with yoga, with we all have different ways of doing that, but we are all putting such a priority on taking care of ourselves. And it really does bring you confidence that you can do this. It brings you connection when you're having a rough patch and you reach out to, our Snapchat group, you reach out to your friends and they are there to support you. It just having that friend group and having people who are close to you who prioritize the same things as you is so important and so beneficial in this journey.
I think so too. I think that's why me like kind of signing up for the self care space. I think that was kind of like this. I mean, before then, but like that really helped having a sense of like community because I don't or didn't really. I didn't have any like friends in there. I had some sculpture friends, obviously, um, and my friends in real life. I don't know. We just don't. Even if they are, I feel like we don't talk about it on a daily basis, if that makes sense. It's just, I don't know. It feels a little bit different. So having like a sense of community while you're doing something like that, I think is really important because it helps me stay accountable. I have to remind myself we don't have to necessarily focus on just today or the future or the past. It can literally just be for all of those because there are so many moments. I'm like, wow, I feel so happy. Like, why do I feel so happy? Like, because this is something like little me would be like, oh my God, that is so fucking cool. And I love that. It's just like such a good reminder that you've come a long way because it can definitely be hard. And like doing anything like this and doing therapy, you're always bringing up, you are doing it for you and you're doing it for the now and you're also doing it for the future. But it does bring up like the past, which can be triggering.
Definitely can be triggering, but I also think it's just so important because that's why we are who we are today is because of our past experiences. And so as emotional as it can be,
100% agree with the impact digging in deep. Like, I feel like we've started talking about habits, and this still really does correlate with it because the more you try to build habits, you're going to ask yourself, why do I distract myself? Why do I struggle with consistency? When did I start struggling with consistency? When did I start distracting myself? When did I stop taking care of myself? Maybe a habit as small as brushing your teeth is something that you haven't been doing. And you'll start to ask, why did I not start brushing my teeth? Why didn't I start this habit as a child? And you're gonna realize, oh, my parents were like, brush your damn teeth, son, every time you needed to go to bed, and it scared the shit out of you. And you just associated scariness with brushing your teeth. Those memories can be spooky. So just remember that if you, one, need that sense of community, that's exactly why we are here, you guys. We are here for you, just like we are here for each other. And just know that the journey that you're deciding to take by working to build habits is a step that some people never even make the choice to start taking. Does that make sense? A lot of people will see it and say, no, I see how long of a journey this is going to be. I'm cool with being stuck where I am today. That's fine. I'm not going to do it. But you are not willing to accept less than what you know you could do. And that alone, like just that single thought, no action, no results, that thought that you want to be better and you want to build habits already says that you can, and that there is something about you that some people struggle with to even initially have. Some people struggle to even have those thoughts. Like they say, I don't want to do this, but you do. Congratulations. Like, I'm freaking proud of you in case no one's told you. And just know that even if you feel like there's nothing to be proud of up until this point, there always is. There's always something so small, so cheesy, so whatever it may be. See if you can pull it out of your ass and tell yourself why you deserve to be proud of yourself today, because you are not going to be consistent in building habits if you don't find a way to tell yourself, wow, I'm good at this for something. Because we're humans, and in human nature, you need that affirmation, even from yourself, especially from yourself when building your own personal habits. Don't forget to remind yourself of the awesomeness that is you as you create new habits.
I love that reminder so much. Love it. I agree. We are here for just to be a community for you if you need that. So I was going back over the laws. I don't know if I mentioned law number 3, but it's make it easy. And that's just, setting yourself up for success, preparing yourself. That's kind of also, it goes along with making it obvious, setting your gym clothes out, having that stuff prepared. Making it easy doesn't also apply to right in this moment, because we've talked about it before. Sometimes the best thing to do in the moment, and the thing that's gonna leave you with the outcome that you really want, is doing the hard thing, because it's gonna make it easier in the long run. So that's just something to keep in mind there. And then law number 4 kind of wraps it up. That's the last one, and it's make it satisfying. And so what it talks about there is how something that in the immediate, because we've talked about in past episodes, human nature is seeking out immediate gratification. So what is immediately rewarded, like a task that you're doing that's immediately rewarded, is going to be more likely to be repeated. Whereas something that's like immediately negative, which is why it's so hard to go to the gym, because sometimes you kick your own ass in the gym and it doesn't feel good in the moment. But right after, I mean, for me, immediately after, usually when I'm walking out of the gym, I'm like, okay, I've cooled down a little. I feel good. That felt good. It didn't in the moment, but it felt good after. And so that's why going to the gym is so hard, because something that's immediately, punished, I guess, is what the book says. That's the word they use. But something that just doesn't feel good, you're not going to want to do that again. Like, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm going to go kick my ass in the gym again. And sometimes you do. And once you get to that point, it does feel good. And I am realizing right now how much I miss just sweating my ass off in the gym. I don't even know how long it's been, but maybe that's a habit I'll need to add on next month. But yeah, so that's the 4 laws. And in the book, it talks about how the habit loop, that kind of completes it. So laws 1, 2, and 3, where make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it easy. Those ones are going to increase your odds to perform that behavior this time around. So like, but then law number 4, which is make it satisfying, is going to increase the odds that you're going to repeat that behavior next time, because you'll recognize the reward in completing that behavior. But I did also want to remind everyone, so it also talks about how habit tracking is so powerful, because it makes the behavior obvious. You're writing it. It makes it attractive because you're checking off the box, and it makes it satisfying because you're checking off the box and getting something done. So I want everyone to go to our Instagram, Healing Our Homes podcast, and save that habit tracker and pick one thing, literally one single thing, and do it for 1 week. Not even a month, a week, and see how you feel. And that's where I want everyone to start, period.
I actually need to do that again too, because I am much more consistent when I do it. Even though I don't want to, and I need to. It is important to remind yourself, like we were talking about, give yourself grace. It is important, like, think about, just anything. It doesn't have to be something crazy, or like you didn't have to step into the routine of your life. You didn't have to land the job of your dreams, but just anything, like to be proud of yourself while you're doing it, because, being proud of yourself just kind of helps, like, for me personally, like boost my confidence in what I'm doing and continuing to do. And the fact that there are so many people, and this is not to say like anything negative about these people, but there are so many people who really do just like run on autopilot. Like, it's a whole, like, I get home from work, I worked all freaking day, I'm tired, which I totally get. I'm gonna go to sleep, like do the very bare minimum essentially. And that is an easy, unfortunately, an easy habit to get into is just doing the bare minimum. And it can be hard to break in the sense that in order to have any kind of growth, so that's this anything like setting boundaries, healing, taking care of yourself in any way, I feel like it's always going to be uncomfortable at first. And your brain is like falsely trying to protect you, which is nice. But like, I have to remind myself, like, my brain is really out here, like, honestly self destructive sometimes. So I have to like shut it down. Um, and because, you have, in order to grow at all, I feel like you have to get uncomfortable. Any kind of growth, going to therapy, I didn't want to do that. Starting a gym, didn't want to do that. Moving from the machines to the actual like weights in the weight room, didn't want to do that either, but I ended up loving it. I was like, this is so funny to me that like I was dreading it so much, and now it's something that for so long I loved and I still love, but I was consistent with it for like years. And I'm like, that's crazy because I haven't been consistent with anything like movement wise and so like and so long. So it's important to be proud of yourself and to remember that just because you do go through different phases, that's okay. Like it's easy for me sometimes to be like, damn, I haven't like truly done any like actual movement, because going from doing it so often to just not doing it is so weird. But it's gotten really easy, and I think because for me, like, at first initially it was a very like aesthetic thing. So then once I was a little more comfortable with myself and my body and like how I am, then it was honestly more for like my mental health. Well, then I kind of, got a pretty good hold on that because I feel like I do have and use um different like tools and things like that. I feel like I don't feel like I'm ever stuck like I felt like I was like before I started therapy and before I started working out. Like I don't feel that way anymore, and if I do, it's for like a short period of time because it's just like, whatever, anxiety, seasonal depression. Shout out to seasonal depression, she's here early because I haven't been doing anything. I haven't wanted to do anything. It sucks. I hate it. I'm like, I love fall, and then fall gets here and I'm like, oh yeah. I always think it's like winter that it starts, and it's not. It's not.
Even being in Arizona, I'm not even gonna lie, I feel it a little bit. Definitely, I will say not as much as I did in Kansas.
Yeah.
I
The
remember,
weather is crazy, like the effect that like the weather has on people. Because somebody was
yeah,
talking about like they're like, wouldn't it be cool to move to Alaska? And I was like, I think it would be cool to visit Alaska. I was like, if their weather was different, like, and I'm just talking daylight, like not even the cold. The cold, that's fine. But like the whole daylight situation,
yeah.
I will never
Well,
be able
in
to do that.
the months of the year that like it's all daylight all the time, people say that that still gets exhausting and weighs on you because you
Yeah, because it's
are
not a
to sleep
balance.
when it's bright as heck outside, so
I
you
would
don't
never want to.
sleep very good that season. Like it's, I couldn't do it.
Am I the only one who, when they have days and they're just sitting where I don't want to do anything, it's cold outside, there's not, it's so pretty, but I, like you said, Felicia, I love the fall, but I don't want to do anything today. I am not even joking. I put up blankets over the windows so it's not bright inside and I don't have to see it being a beautiful day outside. I'm like, I don't want to look at how nice it is outside today. Let me enjoy my day of gloom and doom. And because if I look outside and it's nice, I just immediately feel guilty. I'm like, I'm not taking advantage of this beautiful day. Make sure that you guys let us know what habits you're trying to build. Drop it, drop just one. Just one. Let's not open up the opportunity to overwhelm ourselves. Just drop one little habit that you're trying to incorporate. I will say that I would like to eat 3 meals a day consistently because I've really been struggling personally with binge eating due to just not eating breakfast and then having a bit of a lunch, maybe a bit of a snack, and then waiting a long time for eating dinner, literally not even for any purpose. I just get distracted or I'll be doing something. And then by nighttime, oh my gosh, they're not even meals. They're just like bowls and bowls and bowls of cereal. So yeah, my goal that I would like to share with you guys is just eat 3 consistent meals and food in between as I feel like it. So I just want to get back into a habit of having those 3 daily.
I think, oh, there was one thing I was gonna say, and I'm wondering if I forgot it. Hey, I'm almost done here. But my habit, I think that I'm gonna stick to and put on my habit tracker is going to be reading before bed. And I'll continue. I know we said one, and everyone just comment just one. hold yourself to one for now, but I'm going to continue because I have already formed a habit of doing breath work every morning, 5 minutes of breath work, and I haven't done it today. So I'm going to do that when we hop off of here.
That's so good. Breath work is so good for you, and that's something that I really don't do enough either. There's an alternate nostril breathing exercise on the self-care space, and it is so nice. Like, I haven't done it in a while, but I remember last time I did it, I was like, wow, this is why people do breath work. So for me, I think because I was feeling so much better when I wasn't on my phone right before bed, I think I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna try to make it a book, but I'm not gonna like, if I don't want to read like before bed and I want to do something else, like whenever. But I think I want to also just do that to like the morning too. Like I don't want to wake up and be on my phone or distracted. Like I want to really wake up and just kind of like get into what I'm doing, because this last month, like I said, even though I wasn't really tracking it, I was doing the morning intention, which is really helpful. And that's something that's like easy. You don't have to, you're not moving. You can literally just be like, all right, tomorrow or today, like I'm gonna at least like this is gonna be the intention behind the day. I want to get this done. Like this is really something I've been wanting to do. Or, and it could be anything. Like the one day I was like, honestly, I was feeling like shit. It was last week. I was like, I just want to wake up and feel better to where I want to participate in the rest of the day, because right now I just want to go back to sleep because my head, like I had just like such a migraine. So that was my intention, literally just to feel better. So it doesn't have to be like, again, it doesn't have to be something that's like crazy. It doesn't have to be a wild habit. It can be something small, just like that.
So just a reminder to go comment one single habit that you can kind of work on. So I don't remember where I got this, to be honest, but it's by Rumi is what it says. Rumi. Says, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. So that's just a reminder that it takes each and every one of us being the best versions of ourselves to have a better whole, a better world. Even if it doesn't feel like you're making a difference, you probably are. Go change your habits and do things that you enjoy.
Like that Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. Thank you guys.
Bye guys. Have a good week. Thank you.